Hello and welcome to another Writerly Witterings, and today it's New Year's Eve, so I've got a festive little tipple. No, it's only sherry, it's not a whiskey, don't panic, but like an awful lot of people I'm going to be extremely glad to say goodbye to 2020 and thank goodness for 2021 and vaccines. Drop a medium sherry, can't be beaten on a cold winter's day, and it actually snowed last night, but I'm not here to talk about sherry or snow. Today I'm going to share some thoughts on this little planner notebook with you. Why not? So here we are. What is this? This is a planner that was very kindly sent to me by a lady called Kirsten. And Kirsten Martin sent this through to me because she's been making these planners for some time. And I had a quick chat with her and we agreed that this could be something that could be useful and interesting to you lot. So what is it? It's a planner. Okay, from the outside, let's have a look at it. This is not leather, it's a very robust feeling plastic. It feels good. It's matte finish, which looks rather nice, and it has this pleasant logo of an owl and the year on it. On the back, it has this, really, I like this, elasticated band that you can pull right round the front, but it's tight enough, so it seals like a moleskin basically, but it's tight enough that if you let it go it will just retract and stay on the back, which I think's really good. Here it says, now this is going to be the first problem. On the front it has a picture of an owl. Now Kirsten, very kindly at the back, has, why is it called the, and that's the problem, because she says it's pronounced Eule, Eule, except it is a German word for owl. That means it's actually pronounced Eule. So as far as I'm concerned, and I do apologise to Kirsten because she wants to call it Eule, that's fine. Eule's to me is a local farm up the road, so I'm going to go with Eule. So why is it called Eule? It's because Eule is German for owl. So this is the Eule Planner, and she has a website, euleplanner.com, but she'll call it Eule. What is nice is on the spine you have an owl. These are all deeply embedded in the plastic, so you can see how thick the plastic must be. What's also nice is she has the year on the spine as well, so you can see at a glance without having to use a bunch of nice little sticky labels that will fail over time. She's given you this nice working deep embossed picture so you can tell what year you're looking at. So what's inside? Well, first of all, what's inside is a bookmark. Very nice, I like this. Good looking bookmark, it works well. It is really well produced. This is a very solid planner. I hope all those notes are solid that I just knocked on the floor as well. Let's just hope. There's no wallet in the back like a moleskin would have. This is just a planner. If you seriously want to store things, shove them in the middle, it doesn't matter. I personally don't like the wallets at the back of notebooks because it means that as you get towards the last few pages, when you're writing, you'll find that it skips over where the wallet's outline is. That irritates me. So, turn the pages and welcome to the 2021 edition of the Eule Planner, Analog Business Planner. Now, this, I cannot emphasize enough just how simple and logical this whole thing is. So you've got your 2021 at a glance calendar. you've got, at a glance, all of the plans that you want to do. I've just started making some basic plans. Okay, so I've got to finish writing book 6 in January. I've got to start on the edits for the Sniper. I've got to finish the Sniper in February and start on edits for 33. Then I've got to finish 33 and get on with the edits of Hawkwood the Artist. I have a lot of work to do this year. And it allows you to work out what your daily schedule is going to be. I haven't gone through this yet, but I can promise you I will. Then you've also got your goals for the year. Business, personal, family, community. I think that's rather nice. It's a good separation of different ideas and things that people are going to think about. You may disagree. I don't care. I think it's nice. So those 2 pages, simple, very effective. But this is where it comes into its own. Because obviously I do a lot of blogging, vlogging here. I do updates on Patreon. I have my own newsletter going out, and I always forget to do one or the other. Now I've got a whole bunch of sections which I can use to make a note of the things that I want to keep track of. If you have ideas for vlog posts, for example, let me know. I'll put them in here. That's a handy idea, isn't it? Newsletter? Well, I always lose track of the newsletters. I normally try to do 4 a year and I always fail, but this gives me a series of newsletter plans that I can use and Patreon links as well. So when I'm doing my monthly Patreon updates, it'll all go in here. Blog posts, all perfectly logical. Mingling. Mingling after this year. You've got to be kidding. Hey ho. Well, it means I can try to plan to mingle a bit with someone. We can all hope, can't we? Stats. I'm going to try to follow how many people are subscribing to YouTube, try to keep track of how many videos are actually hitting the mark and how many need to have some work. That's going to be useful. Daily tracking. No, I've no idea at all. I'm going to try to keep a record of how often I manage to do a sketch or something. I've been trying since 2 days before Christmas Eve. I've been trying to find time to do a painting. I haven't managed to yet. So this sort of thing, daily tracking, perhaps it'll allow me to keep track of things like whether I've managed to do a painting or anything else. And then there's notes. Now let's just keep going. January. So for the beginning of each month, you have a month to review. That's handy, I like it. Every month you're given monthly goals, a section of 5 monthly goals you can aim to achieve. Great, so I've got to finish 6, begin the Sniper edit. Fine, nice and straightforward. Important to-dos. I like that. So these are just for that month. Every month you get a little quotation, which is actually quite nice. People resist change because they focus on what they're going to lose instead of what they're going to gain. Paul Coelho. I can think of a number of situations in the last year where that's been true. But what's over the page? Well, now we get on to the meat of it, which is a weekly planner. Morning, afternoon is how I'm going to use it. So we got this. Then the to-do list, which you can run through. And usefully, you've got notes. Now, I know you're thinking, there's nowhere near enough space with that, just less than half a page to have notes for an entire week. And you're right. Which is why this planner is set up with a dot grid so that you can work out or plan or make notes of whatever it is you want. Here we go, January the 4th through to the 10th. The to-do list, beginning of notes. These are just important, relevant bullet notes, I'd say, for the week. And then I'll be using this for additional things that you need to plan or think about. All the way through, so that's January, notes, January, notes, January, notes, and then February. Here we go again. We've got a month to review. We've got monthly goals, important to-do list, little quote from Anne Frank, that's nice. And then you're into the week, to-do list for the week, notes, and bullet journal, dot grid type thing as well. And that's it. This is just a planner for the year, which gives you a chance of keeping track of daily events that you want to, keeping track of statistics, keeping track of your blog posts, what you're planning to do and when, ideas for blog posts, newsletters. I think that's fantastic. I really do. Now, obviously, we are writing chaps who like inks on this writerly witterings nonsense. So, what is noticeable is different inks do not like this paper as much as others. You can see here on the January that there has been a certain amount of bleed through and shadowing when I was using, let's see, what was that? That was, I think, yes, Delft's Blau. But here I had some KWZ on a fine nib, and that doesn't come through at all. Again, we've got Delft's Blau here, Ackermann's ink, and there is a tiny bit of shadowing, but no bleed through really. There is bleed through here, not there. Then if I look at this with Delft's Blau, this is KWZ, this is Sepia from Diamine, this is KWZ again. There is bleed through with, oddly enough, mostly the Diamine Sepia. Now what's interesting here is this was using my Conway Stewart Indiana Jones Model 58, this was using my Kaweco Sport, this was using a Visconti fine nib. The Kaweco is fine nib, the Conway Stewart is decidedly broad. But if we go over here, now, this page I wrote with the Visconti using sepia. It has shadowed quite well. No actual bleed through, but it has shadowed. The Conway Stewart has shadowed a little bit, but not much. On this page, using the Visconti with sepia, it has come through quite badly. So the paper is not perfect for fountain pens, but it definitely depends on the type of pen you use. Now the Kaweco does not tend to put out quite as much ink as other pens. The Visconti definitely puts down a hell of a lot more ink than other pens. So basically you need to monitor what sort of ink you're using and what type of pen you're using. If you're not using a pen, if you're using a rollerball, if you're using a ballpoint, if you're using pencil, there's absolutely no problem at all. I haven't decided yet how I'll be utilising my pens, but as a working environment, the pages fold flat, each of the pages are stitched in properly. This is a really lovely piece of work. It's made in the US, so my American friends who want to make sure they're not buying from China, this, just for a nice change, means that you can buy something that's been made in America, and it's been made, well, it's been designed and made with love. This is a superb planner. Sorry, another little shot of sherry there. The William Hanna would be an absolutely ideal notebook to carry with you into meetings, and then you can take whatever it is that's really important as bullet points to put down on the notes. So what do I like about it? I will now pick up my notebook that I knocked on the floor earlier. What do I like about it? Well, I really like the format. I love the year to a view, the monthly to-do lists and goals, and I like the 2 pages of notes and the weekly to-do lists. For me, that just looks ideal. I think this is probably, for the very first time, I can say this is probably a planner that I'm going to be using intensively. My William Hanna notebooks are for meaningful thoughts and things I want to keep track of, sort of personally, but the William Hannas are just such lovely notebooks to use. I'm not going to stop using them, but this, I think, because it's all bound, will make my monthly planning for blogs, for vlogs, for writing, everything, an awful lot easier. I really like the way the cover's designed. I love leather. I really, really like leather. This is not leather, but you can hear it there. It's a matte surface that I don't think is going to get slippery. I really like the fact that it's got the year imprinted on the spine. It feels like I could tip a cup of coffee over this and it would still work. It opens well. I like that elastic band that just goes into the background when you're not using it. I really like the fact that each page is numbered. Makes life easier. It could possibly do with a contents page, but realistically, who cares? I can stick a page in which will have a sheet of contents if I need to. And more likely I'll be following things by month and then make a note of the page number within the month. It's not really a problem. What do I don't like about it? Well, the paper could be better. It is good paper, it feels nice, it's got a lovely ivory colour, but that bleed through from my Visconti was rather disappointing. But Viscontis really do chuck out an awful lot of ink, so it's not surprising. For general use, for me, I don't have to worry about dividing the day into separate blocks and planning around different meetings. I don't have meetings, do I? I'm an author. I need to plan out my day in sort of, well, this half of the day is going to be just writing and editing, and that half I've got to walk the dogs, I've got to make sure the shopping's done. My sort of life really is much better suited to this kind of environment where walk the dogs in the morning, go out, do a painting, and then the afternoon is entirely dedicated to writing. Because that's what I do. So overall, who's this designed for? Well, it's definitely designed for people like me who do a lot of vlogs and blogs. It's ideal, I think, for people who are involved in long-term projects. I can imagine this would be really useful for a software developer, for example, where he has regular meetings where they're discussing how a particular project is developing. Project management, I think this would be really good. Is there anybody else it would be suitable for? Probably, but I'll leave that to your judgment. For me, doing lots of YouTubes, lots of blog posts, lots of video recording, lots of writing of novels, to me this feels pretty much perfect. The Eule 2021 Annual Planner. There you go. And now, finally, having discussed the Eule, sorry Kirsten, it's Eule. I promised that early in the new year I would be giving you some updates on the ideas I've been having for the writing group. Now, this is a concept that was suggested to me by Richard Barnes, I think, which was that it would be fun to have a writing group going, a sort of pen pals type group where various people can join in by writing to each other. Doesn't matter whether it's typed or fountain pen or even a ballpoint. However you want to communicate, if you want to write to a bunch of other people around the world, this is a way to do it. Now, there are going to be difficulties with this, partly because of data protection laws in the UK, the European GDPR rules. I'm not too sure how I'm going to get around them. However, various people watching these videos have in the past said they would like to be able to join in. I've been talking about this for 3 months, and so I've now got to theoretically go back to 3 months worth of different videos and look through all the comments to see who said what and when. I'm not going to do that because that will take days. There's an awful lot of comments per video and there's 4 videos per month. So instead of that, if you are interested, down here I am writing a link for you to email me on. This is a specific email address that I've designed for this. Maybe this sherry is stronger than I thought. Anyway, that's the email address to write to, writerlywitterings@icloud.com, if you're interested in this pen friend type group. What I intend to do is I will review things when I've got an idea of numbers. So far I think it could be about 80 odd people who are interested in this, and then I will be writing to you all with a mail shot which will say what I'm expecting and anticipating and how I think it might work. Then I'll ask you guys to write to me by email, I'm afraid, just to talk about things like, for example, how safe do you want your home writing address to be kept? Because obviously if you're going to join in a pen friend type thing, I've got to give out your home address for other people to be able to write to you. How do we manage that? How do we manage all the other stuff? More on that when I get a chance to write to you. For now, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to say, if you're interested in supporting the channel, there's a Patreon link down at the bottom and there's also a PayPal link. However, if you're not interested in that, still go down to the bottom, subscribe, hit the bell button if you want notification when the next video comes out, like it, share it, tell your friends, tell the world, and don't forget to buy a few of my books. Brand new, don't buy them secondhand because then I don't earn anything. But if you buy brand new books, that makes me happy. And you like a happy author, don't you? Thanks very much. This is New Year's Eve, so Happy New Year, folks. Let's hope it's significantly improved on 2020. Cheers. Don't drink too much of this tonight, will you? That'd be bad. Very bad. And now, New Year's Eve, I've got to edit this so that you can see it later. Bye-bye.